Right now at noon, an investigation is underway after a man was killed by a Madison police officer. And former House Speaker Paul Ryan is launching a new nonprofit in his hometown. We'll tell you what it is.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. One man is dead following an officer-involved shooting in Madison last night. Madison police say a man began firing at them while they were responding to a weapons violation on the city's west side. MPD fired back, hitting the man, who later died at the hospital. The Department of Criminal Investigation is now handling the case, which is standard procedure. Here's what the acting Madison police chief said at the scene off Raymond Road.
It's difficult for the community. It's a tragedy for the family of the subject. It's a tragedy for the officers who were involved in the incident. It's very difficult for all involved, so it's nothing that any of us want to go through, but we can just have to commit to doing a transparent investigation, assisting DCI as they do their work and being as transparent as we can moving forward.
And once DCI wraps up its investigation, they'll turn their findings over to the Dane County District Attorney's Office. Let's head over to the Weather Center now. Chris Reese is keeping an eye on snow coming our way. Oh, you're wearing the snow tie.
Yes, I am. It's the first potential snow of the season, so of course it feels early, but we are going to rock and roll with the forecast here. Here's what we're looking at outside right now. That's a lot of cloud cover, and I'm not expecting any snow to fall in the immediate future, as in the next couple of hours. Temperatures are still in the low 40s. Winds are coming out of the west at 5 miles per hour, but one of the things we are watching is a little bit of a cold front. Notice temperatures back towards the north and west. They are in the 30s. Still, it's a lot of cloud cover, and we're going to continue to watch that cloud cover increase as we go throughout the day. Here's a better picture, though, at the cold front that is draped across the Midwest right now, and along that cold front is a wave of low pressure. You already can see some snow starting to develop on the eastern side of the Rockies. That is going to be headed our way as we move into the overnight hours. So with that, we have 2 alert days, one for tomorrow morning with perhaps some snow on the ground during the morning commute, and then another one for Thursday. You might want to go as a snowplow for Halloween. I'll be tracking that forecast as well coming up in Maine Weather.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Chris. Law enforcement is investigating after a Janesville home damaged by fire months ago caught on fire again early Sunday morning. The home is located at 121 South Academy Drive. Firefighters arrived at the home around 3:15 a.m. Sunday to see flames coming from a boarded-up house. The owner of the property told firefighters the home had been unoccupied since a fire back in April. No one was hurt as a result of this fire. Firefighters say it's unclear how much damage was done at this time due to the existing damage from the April fire. The Janesville Police Department and the Rock County Sheriff's Office are investigating the fire at this time. Former House Speaker Paul Ryan has launched a new nonprofit organization he says will be focused on fighting poverty, increasing economic opportunities, and advancing evidence-based public policies. Ryan announced the launch of the American Idea Foundation today. He moved more than $7 million from his congressional account into the nonprofit when he announced its formation earlier this year. The foundation will be based in Janesville. Ryan moved his family from Janesville to Maryland earlier this year. A wildfire burning in Northern California's wine country since last week grew overnight as nearly 200,000 people remain under evacuation orders. The California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection says that the fire in Sonoma County, north of San Francisco, now spans 103 square miles. That's up 85 square miles from Sunday. The fire has destroyed 94 buildings, including 40 homes, and is threatening 80,000 structures. Most of those structures are homes. The fire started October 23rd near the town of Geyserville in Sonoma County. It's 5% contained. President Trump announced the death of ISIS leader al-Baghdadi from the White House Sunday. The ISIS leader is responsible for killing thousands of people. The president is also defending his decision not to notify congressional leaders about al-Baghdadi's mission ahead of time, slamming Democrats conducting the impeachment inquiry.
I think Adam Schiff is the biggest leaker in Washington. You know that, I know that, we all know that. I've watched Adam Schiff leak. He's a corrupt politician.
Look, it's great that we've gotten al-Baghdadi and killed him. He's a dangerous man, an evil man. The fight against ISIS has to continue.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called al-Baghdadi's death significant, but added the House must be briefed on this raid, which the Russians were, but not top congressional leaderships were notified in advance. In more local news, the Dane County Farmers Market plans to move its late winter market into the Garver Feed Mill. Vendors will be at the Garver Feed Mill starting January 4th, 2020 through April 4th, 2020 until the outdoor market resumes. The market will run from 8 a.m. until noon. And there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Join us as we explore some of the trendiest produce in the market. Plus, we're sharing a recipe that uses them in a pretty surprising way. Hey, can you name some of today's trendiest veggies? If kale and cauliflower comes to mind, you're spot on. Today, I'm going to show you a few of my favorite varieties and share with you some mouth-watering ways to prepare them. These days, the produce department is full of color, and that includes these. They're called carnival cauliflower, and they naturally grow just like this. As we all know, the more color in our veggies, the better they are for us. When it comes to kale, there are so many varieties. This is Salad Savoy, and it's as tasty and tender as it is pretty to look at. If you're searching for kale that'll stand up to soups and stews, let me introduce you to something called Tasty Tuscany. Plus, it's hearty enough to throw on the grill, and boy, is it good. For those of you who love kale and Brussels sprouts, then you have to try these. Lollipop kale sprouts. These little guys are perfect for sautéing, roasting, or even pickling. And to show you just how versatile kale can be, I've got a recipe for an unexpected treat. These may look and taste like traditional fudgy brownies, but our little secret is that they're packed with finely chopped kale. So not only do you get all the yumminess, but you get all the health benefits too. To get the recipe for our surprise brownies, simply visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found some colorful, tasty, and nutritious ways for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Thank you, Howard. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, a chilly start to the work week. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking some potential snow as well. That's next in your First Alert forecast. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Let's check Wall Street now at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 97 points. The NASDAQ is up 83. The S&P 500 is 16. No Pam today, so here are your farm numbers. Time now for the weather. Chris is over in the Weather Center, just back from the California desert.
Yeah, 48 hours ago, I was in Los Angeles. It was 85 degrees, but it looks like I came back just in time because we have 2 alert days in the forecast, both of which are for snow. Someone grab a calendar and make sure that it is actually October, because it's hard to believe with the forecast that I have for you all. Let's go ahead and start with a look outside. It is very cloudy. Temperatures are right at 42 degrees. We're seeing those winds coming out of the west at 5 miles per hour. Folks, we'll see that west wind to northwesterly wind as we go throughout the day, blowing in some cooler temperatures. The Dell's at 39 right now, Viroqua at 35, Decorah, Iowa coming in at 34 degrees right now. We work our way a little bit towards the south and east. We find our friends in Janesville at 45 right now. But for all of us with that cloud cover, temperatures are a lot cooler today, as opposed to 24 hours ago when we had plenty of sunshine and a little bit of a different brand of air. But high-resolution Doppler, we're going to be tracking that one as we go through the rest of this afternoon and evening. Things are all clear for us at the moment, but we're already tracking some snow starting to fly across parts of Nebraska back towards the eastern side of the Rockies. This is an area of low pressure that's all along a cold front that's gradually pushing towards the south and east. Eventually, that low begins to work its way towards the north and east, and that's where we'll begin to see a chance for some rain and snow. And I think the models are kind of trending more so towards snow, especially as we get you later on towards tonight. Here's midnight, and you do see that system all working its way towards the upper Midwest. And we may be watching another system as well, another area of low pressure, perhaps a stronger one. That one begins to develop towards the middle of the week, and it's possible that there could be snow on the northern side of that. But let's time out tonight's snow chance first. Here's how things are right now. We'll see those highs into the low and mid 40s. It will stay cloudy as well. But I'm thinking after 10 o'clock tonight, that's when we'll start to see that first chance of some snow moving on in here. By midnight, I think everyone, especially north and west of Janesville, is all getting in on some snow and a northerly wind. You work your way towards the south and east. That's where I think we'll be just warm enough for all rain. Eventually, that colder air wins over. Here we are at 2:30 in the morning. Temperatures will be closer towards the freezing mark at that point. We'll still be seeing some of those snowflakes come down. By the time, though, we wake up for that morning commute tomorrow, I think a lot of the snow is moving on out of here. We'll be cloudy with temperatures into the upper 20s. And then here's the good news. We'll still see some sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will be well above freezing. So anything that does fall, anything that does stick with that high October sun, it's going to melt fairly quickly as we head into today, tomorrow. But we are watching those numbers as well, because we could be looking at it anywhere between 1 and 2 inches of snow, depending on where you are. I'd err likely on the lighter side of that. I think about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of snow is likely what most folks will end up seeing in terms of snowfall accumulation. So not a big deal, but nonetheless, it will be the first accumulating snow of the season, and perhaps it's just the appetizer to another event. Let's go ahead and show you this one. This is 2:30 in the morning on Halloween. Our models are hinting at some snow starting to break out at that point, and then perhaps lasting all day. Here we are, 8 o'clock, trick or treat time on Halloween, and we still could be looking at some snowflakes around the area before that moves out earlier on into your Friday. But I'm watching that system closely, because the record for accumulating snow on Halloween, that's 3.2 inches. I think it's possible that that record could be in jeopardy. We're also watching multiple rounds of colder air as we go, not just through this week, but I think we're going to end up in a colder pattern as we look further ahead. We end up in what I call a northwesterly flow. So you're going to see a lot of colder air throughout the northeastern part of the country, and this will keep us a little bit drier, but it will keep things cooler. So go ahead and track the extended forecast at this point. And here we are. Once we get past Thursday, that northwesterly flow sets up. We have multiple dry days in a row, but notice a lot of those days are in the 40s for those highs, with lows closer to the freezing mark.
Just psychologically damaging. I don't think we're going to have
Is it?
To me, it is. Let's get to November 1st.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It does feel early. And seriously, you know, days ago, I'm in the Arizona sun, and I come back, and this is what I come back to. But
you like snow.
I won't complain. I do like the snow.
It's not going to stick around.
It will not stick around. No, it'll melt fairly quickly.
All right, Chris, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at noon, Linda Bartsch from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. 270-9933 is the number to call. We'll get to your questions right after this. Linda Barge from the Bruce Company's here answering your plant and garden questions, 270-9933. Good to see you.
Good to see
Brought
you,
some
Mark.
color in for the inside of the house since everything's going to be white outside.
I'm not sure about the snow yet, but yes, I did bring some nice flowering plants. And if you have bulbs at home and don't have them in the ground, I would recommend you try to get that in as soon as possible, because you certainly can still plant them, and there isn't a good way to do unless you were to force them inside. And that means you have to put them in pots in soil inside and then put them in a refrigeration type thing, or sometimes people put it in a cooler in their garage, but it's just simpler to put it in
Put them in the ground.
And this Phalaenopsis orchid that was just on, the great big tall purple one, that is an orchid that's quite easy to grow, flowers for a long time, lasts a long time in
months.
homes. Mm-hmm. Very cool and easy to grow.
That's a big one.
That's a very tall one.
All right, let's go to the
flower.
Let's go to the phones. We'll start with Kathy from Madison. Hi, Kathy.
Hi. I planted 3 different varieties of catmint this year, and I can't find a definitive answer as to whether I should cut it back right now or just leave them the way they are.
Catmint?
Mm-hmm. Oh, catmint. Okay, catmint, that is a very versatile, hardy perennial, and a lot of times if foliage looks nice, like on coral bells and Jack Frost, I leave them and don't prune them back, because if we have a mild winter, they will just stay green. But catmint, I think you're going to get too much flopping, so I would suggest that you just prune that back. A lot of times they have a little rosette at the base, and that part of the foliage you leave. So just the taller portion you would cut back and leave the rosette that's at the very base.
Okay, let's go to Ruth in Monroe. Hi, Ruth.
Hello.
Hi, what's your question?
Last summer I had trouble with Japanese beetles. And I know that they overwinter in the soil. And I was wondering if there's anything that I can do to keep them from hatching in the spring.
Okay. Well, this is too late for you to be putting down material on the grassy areas where they overwinter. They're moving down, especially with these colder temperatures. They're gonna move down faster, and I'm not positive about the timing on that. Let me see if in early spring. I think it takes too long. I think that they're gonna be emerging, and then you would do a spray control at that time. But if there's a material you can put down in spring, I will talk about that next Monday.
Okay, we'll go to Patricia now in Beaver Dam. Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
I have a honeysuckle vine I bought this year, and when I bought it, it had mildew on it, and I have done everything I could to spray and I get rid of it, but then it seems to come back. Should I cut that back this fall?
Well, if it's a new plant, I'd hesitate to do that, especially in the fall. The fact that it had powdery mildew on those leaves, if those, when they get infected enough, they generally fall, and then you can just clean them up. What I would suggest is next spring do a preventive application, because once you have mildew on leaves, you're not going to eradicate it.
Okay, treat it in the spring.
Yes, preventively.
Don't cut it back.
Right.
All right, Chris from Madison. Hi, Chris.
Hi. I have a Dracena houseplant. It's the tree-like one that has 3 stalks coming up, and it's getting like little growths in the middle of the stem.
Okay.
And then the big leaves on top are like dying off. So I don't know why it's getting the new little growth in the middle.
No, that's unusual. Usually the top portion, when it's growing and it's healthy, it maintains a dominance that then you don't have those adventitious buds that will start lower down. If the leaves start to look poor near the top, you can actually prune them back to the lower section, and then that becomes the main plant. But it depends upon that. If the top looks nice, don't cut it off.
Okay. Go to Jane in Waterloo. Hi, Jane.
Yes, I have a question on the tree peonies, and do we treat those the same way as the regular peony bush?
No, definitely not. Tree peonies have woody stems, and besides being a lot more expensive than other peonies, you do not prune those down to the ground. You get a larger shrub. It doesn't get a whole lot taller, but you'll develop more branches. So let those all sit, because the buds for next year are on those woody stems.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Char in Mount Horeb. Hi, Char.
Hi.
Hi, which question?
I have a question on an orchid I got in May for Mother's Day. It bloomed beautifully, and then the blooms died, and I know that they're supposed to go dormant for a while. However, I cut it back to where the nubs were, and then one of the stalks eventually turned brown and it died. And then I kept, I put the 3 ice cubes in it. That's how I'm supposed to be watering it. But then the second stalk died. And so I cut that back. I still have the big green leaves. They're beautiful, but I'm wondering if that will come back.
Char, I'm going to have to put you on hold here. We're out of time.
Okay.
The leaves are all that you need to grow. Keep watering it and fertilizing it. It may reflower.
Char's waiting for you online, too. You can talk to her later.
Okay.
All right, let's go over to Chris. Has one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we are watching that chance for the first accumulating snow of the season tonight. Not a big deal. Likely about an inch, maybe 2 inches in some spots. We'll see that melting with some sunshine Tuesday afternoon. Another snow chance for Halloween Thursday.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.